Okay guys, so where are we today? It is Tuesday, another Tuesday. I think I do this most Tuesdays. It just kind of makes it easier. We are at Adelaide University today. I just dropped Sarah off at one of her lectures. We walked, so I guess I didn't drop anything off, but she's at a lecture, maths. I'm at Adelaide, moving through the campus, heading to the computer pools to do some work. Today we were going to look at a couple of things, so some changes and some things I've got to actually make. I thought they'd be interesting because, well, today's going to be more interesting than any of the other ones I think so far. A couple of the problems I've got, for example, the wheels. They have two hubs. Inside the hubs there are two bearings, and those two bearings don't fit onto a standard axle on a skateboard truck, so I'm going to have to basically create a new axle, and I'll show you a little schematic I've drawn for that, which will both increase the diameter of the truck axle and also extend it so it's longer, because the wheels are wider for the height, which makes sense, I guess. What else have I got to do? The balance cables for the LiPo battery. So I've actually gone through the process figuring that one out. I'll cut them off and merge them all into one 8-cell balance charger, which I can then use properly, because otherwise I'm a bit stuck about that. What else are we doing today? I think that's about it. Alright, I shall see you later. Okay, hopefully my face isn't too big. Today I have moved into a school, some of you will probably recognise which school, to create the shank or the sleeve that I need to create so that I can fit my hubs, custom hubs, onto a standard skateboard truck. So currently the shank that they're meant to sit on is too small, so I'll just show you now. So the shank that you normally would have, this one here, is too small. It's got an outside diameter of 8mm, it's only 22.5 long and 13 with the blank, so this bit here with the metal, which doesn't have any thread on it. However, come on, it's focusing on the table, there you go. So the section with no thread is 22 long, with thread it's only 16mm long, this dimension I'm talking about. And so what I actually need is something more like this. Let's see if I can get that to focus. It's a bit closer there. The problem I've got is I'm doing face tracking, guys. So 10mm outside diameter, 38 long, just for the bearings to sit on, and 16mm minimum for the nut, and then spacers that I'm going to put in. So to go from this to this, I'm creating a sleeve. The sleeve is going to be the total length that I require, so this size, and the inside, of course, is then going to be slotted over the top. So it needs to be about, actually probably needs to be smaller than what this is, and then I'll heat it up in the oven and get a heat fit, but threaded on this end and then with a bolt as well. 54 total, 38, which is the size. Okay, so to start with, what I'm doing here is what I'm going to do is mark how much I need, plus a little bit more for what I'm going to put into the chuck of the lathe. So in this case I need 55, let's just put a rough mark for that. I think I'll put one there, just using a simple scriber here, guys, in case you haven't noticed. And then I'm going to add another, I don't know, maybe 20mm, 30mm would be better, onto the end. Cool, 3 marks, 1, 2 and 3. You may just about be able to mark them up. And I'm going to reface the end there. So I'm going to show you some of that. Right, to cut, what I'm going to be using is this machine down here. Now this is a reciprocating hacksaw, set up to work on metal. It's quite loud, so I'll probably cut it out with some music. And it works fine on rod like this. Okay, just tighten this in, roughly. slightly mucky, but that is the rod that we wanted. Pretty easy to do if you've got the right tools, of course. Not so easy if you don't. You should just about be able to see the markings there in the middle. Okay, cool. Cool. Now, obviously, with the chuck, I'm gonna have to put this in here, and then I'm gonna do a number of passes to mill this down to the right outside, and then I'm gonna mill the inside as well. Too easy. Actually, I'll start with the inside. I'm gonna time lapse this so it's not so fast or tedious for you guys, and we'll probably start that about now. Okay, hey guys. So, I don't know if you noticed, but the video just cut out. And that is because I A, didn't check how much memory space I had on my SD card, and B, didn't realise that recording at 1080p would fill up my 32GB SD card quite so fast, which it did. So, we cut out there, back when I was still lathing the sleeve, the outside of the sleeve, and I've since spent a little bit more time on it. I reckon I ended up machining that thing for about an hour and a half, hour and 20, hour and a half, and I've got a little bit more to go on it and a little bit to tweak. But this is the only the prototype, most likely. I probably will not use this one primarily. I'll probably make a few more and even potentially automate it and make it on a CNC lathe. So, without much further ado, let me show you what I did. Okay, so here we go. This is the part that I made. I don't know, I'll bring that up pretty close, hopefully that'll be focused on. You should be able to see that there. And you can see here that it's got a small step just there. That is where the outside thread is going to go. The inside thread I have actually created, and that is, if I can zoom that right up close, in here. Can you see it? Probably not. Okay, zoom this way. That's actually in there, in the inside of the tube, just about. Cool. So, that, without much further ado, there's not really too much to it, realistically. This tube, this sleeve, is designed to go over the top of, I think I used the other side last time, over the top of the existing spigot, or the axle, sorry. And it does for the most part. It needs a little bit more boring out. I only started boring out and then realised the time, so that this side, the smooth side, will go on completely. At the same time, I would quite like to try using a heat fit, so heat this up really hot and maybe put this in the freezer for a little while so that I can just put it on straight away. And then I've got my 8mm thread on this side, so that thread's on there. On that side, that goes on further if I push a bit harder. and that's about it. It also, therefore, because I've got the right outside diameter here, it goes quite neatly, whoops, if I can actually see what I'm doing, onto the bearings here. So that's pretty good, and there's enough space now to put both caps on. If I can force that one through. Well, this one's also a bit of a fit. So obviously it needs a little bit of work. I didn't have much time to actually check it before I finished, but that's not hard to do, certainly feasible. And that's the first piece that I needed to make to start putting the wheel assembly together. And there you go, that's about it. That's all I was going to do today. Obviously, I would have liked to have put heaps of more things in the video, like I would have loved to have spent some time changing the balance leads here over, but unfortunately it's just not what I've got to be able to do.